Thank you very much for having us here on the Battery Tuesday webinars from the iBAT, and we're glad to show you a bit what ecovolta as a company is doing in terms of product and services. Table of contents, as Christian already mentioned, we start with a brief introduction of the history of our company. Then we show you about the main things we do here, battery production, customization, and 2 products out of the battery stack production. And I think at the end we'll have some question and answer time. So let's start with the history, where everything began. It started more than 10 years ago with this guy here on the top, Baptist Reichmuth, with the idea of utilizing the waste of his farms, especially a lot of waste from the pig farms. He started making power, electricity, and heat out of the waste. Started with a rather small biomass for district heating, and soon became a bigger plant with also wood heating to distribute all the heat throughout the different smaller villages around our company, where we still are today. After time, the idea of generating heat and a little bit of electricity was not enough for him. When he started with some additional projects of creating houses, he was also having the idea of how he could manage not only the heat, but also solar power, store it, and manage the whole energy flows in the buildings, but also in the villages. He then started with a small team of engineers with the ecocoach company, developing stationary battery systems and energy management system. The company exists still today, still produces stationary battery systems, and main focus, we could say, is really the energy management platform behind the battery system, with different opportunities also for OEMs. As a part of the ecocoach, ecovolta was founded as a division in 2018 with the idea of getting back to the farms. He had a lot of solar power on the roofs of the farms, but still needed a lot of diesel and fuel, and had too much electricity, so he came up with the conclusion, why not use all the energy available on the roofs for his vehicles and machines, and started also mobile battery production and development as a part of ecocoach. Since last year, 2023, Eco Company became a separate company, focusing only on mobile batteries. The vision, it's not only the vision of ecovolta, but it makes a bit more sense if you now know the history of the whole group, is independence and energy self-sufficiency, not only on smaller parts or vehicles or buildings like with ecovolta or ecocoach, but also for whole districts with the whole group. In this picture, I could briefly show you about the group activities. We have, as part of the Eco Group, the companies EcoGain and Eco Energy Systems. They still develop, plan, and build for district heating plants. We started with the one in Schwyz. There is a second one in Küsnacht, in the same canton of Schwyz, as well as a third one in Wolle, in Sion. There is additional ones planned in Einsiedeln and further down that valley. So they still produce plan and build the 4-district heating plants, and also plan and maintain all the distribution of the heat. Then we have ecocoach, as I said, the company with stationary battery systems and energy management systems, mainly for buildings and smaller industry. And ecovolta, taking the part for the mobile batteries, be it in industry, in agriculture, or mainly every kind of product which moves or has moving parts in it will sooner or later come across the idea of electrification. Milestones of our company, as I said, in 2006, the Agroenergie Schweiz, the 4-district heating plant, was founded. In 2017, Baptiste Reichmuth started with the couple of experts to develop the first ecocoach product. And since that, ecovolta was a part of the company ecocoach, and since 2023, we're our own independent company. The picture on the right, by the way, is our group building. So it's not only the building of ecovolta. We're situated on one floor, but the other 3 floors are offices and production sites of ecocoach, but also eco energy systems. About ecovolta itself, what we do, you saw it in the table of contents list. First of all, we produce lithium-ion battery packs and stacks. We have, we can say that our main business now is creating, developing, and producing customized battery packs from the idea, from the use cases of our clients till the final series production, be it certified to ECE R100 or other CE approvals. So done by us in-house here. Well, the certification not, but the production development. Then our oldest product, let's say, although we have launched the 2nd generation 2 or 3 years ago, is the evoTractionBattery, our standardized lithium-ion battery, which Luca will talk about it a bit later. The ecoPowerTrolley, which is our only end product, if you will so. So with all the batteries, we're delivering part of a final machine or vehicle, but with the ecoPowerTrolley, we developed and sell now a final end product. And last but not least, if we find time at the end of the presentation, we'll give you a brief introduction about our vehicle retrofit and electrification part. As it's not our core business, we'll show you some parts we do there if we have enough time at the end of the presentation. So let's start with the core of our business, with the battery production and therefore the customization of different battery packs. I think it's easiest to start with the picture. You see a part of our production plant here in Brunnen, especially the 2 welding robots. We buy lithium round cells and then laser weld them to different sizes of stacks. We do laser welding. We weld a material called hilomine to the cells and hilomine to the copper. The hilomine is a defined material from company Tata, which is an ultra clean electronickel plated steel and acts as a fuse as well. We are welding NMC, but also LFP round cells in different dimensions, mainly 18650 cells for the products, let's say, like a traction battery and the ecoPowerTrolley, but also bigger sizes, NMC or LFP round cells. And depending on the customer needs, we select different type of cells, from high energy density cells to rather high power cells if it's a bit higher C rate requested. So with those possibilities from what we can weld in our production, we produce our stacks. The welded battery stacks, as you can see here, are then mounted to packs, so with different stack sizes, playing somewhat like Lego. We are able to produce different battery packs. Our big advantage is that we have a stack platform. So for almost every product, also customized products we build, they're built on a stack platform. So we're pretty fast in also producing prototypes. The packs itself have a very homogeneous temperature distribution, which is due to the copper plate between the cells and the contact between the different battery stacks. It allows us to go into more application with passive cooling. Of course, at some point there's a limit reached where the passive cooling doesn't make sense anymore. But with a very homogeneous temperature distribution, we're able to cover quite a big amount of use cases with passive cooling. Depending on the cells we use, the copper plate also prevents thermal propagation from one defect cell. We did some tests in-house, but also from a certification lab where we could approve this behavior of preventing the thermal propagation. The third part our copper plate is playing is a very robust connection of the battery cells together with the hilomene, which allows us to go into rather special use cases. For instance, snowmobiles out in the ski resorts, which in terms of the battery and especially the welding of each cells have a very aggressive behavior. As I said before, the hilomene also acts as a fuse. If there's a too high current drawing or delivering by one cell, the hilomene will melt down. Based on these stacks or the stack platform, we then create all the different sizes of our customized batteries. I think it's easy to just start with the pictures on the right side. On the top, you see a rather big battery with 60 kilowatt hours or a bit more than 60 kilowatt hours to go into a commune multipurpose carrier or sweeper vehicle. As you can see here, with the different stacks and packs, we're able to reach special sizes to really fill out all the place available in this case, the vehicle of our customer. With the stack platform, we were able to create different shapes, voltages, capacities, and also output powers, and therefore are really flexible to react on the customer's needs. The distribution of battery packs in one vehicle is also possible in case we have like 2 or 3 battery packs distributed in different places of the vehicle. For instance, we have just a customer project for in the racing industry, if you will, so where we're able to distribute 2 battery packs in the vehicle to have a perfect weight distribution. We have one main supplier of the battery management system, but also have other ones depending on, again, the customer needs. And we configure the BMS depending on the requirements and are able to optionally integrate the power distribution unit, fuses, active heating, charger, whatever is requested into the final battery pack housing. So that's more or less roughly showed what we do on customized batteries. As we have many different projects, it would be too much to go into the detail what all the different possibilities in details are, but on a rough view, that's what we can deliver or achieve. So on the next slides, we'll talk about the product, the evoTractionBattery, and therefore I hand over to Luca, and I hope it works if I just take over the presentation.
Yes, thank you, Patrick.
Thanks.
Hello also from my side. I hope the presentation is visible for you. Good, perfect. Yeah, then let's start with our evoTractionBattery. As Patrick said, it's our standard lithium battery. It's now in the second generation. Currently, we are producing this second generation. The dimension have remained the same as the first generation, but inside everything has evolved. And here on the next page, we see the battery on the left side, the middle one, the 10 kilowatt-hour battery type. So we can say it's literally an off-the-shelf product, plug and play. It's really easy to integrate into system, also thanks to the existing ECR 100 and ECR 10 certification. And we have two versions, the 48 volts and the 96 volt version. But we have also the possibility that we can achieve various voltage levels and capacity when we stack the batteries together in series and parallel. So it's possible to split up to 400 volts or up to 15 pieces in parallel. Then you see here that we have written that no cooling is required. It's always a point that we will discuss with the customers. So that means that we look for the optimum of the setting for the vehicle of the customer. Then wake up without 12 volt. That means that the BMS is powered directly by the high voltage battery itself. We are not dependent on an onboard lead acid battery. And we've implemented a lot of chargers on the BMS side, so nothing is to do, only to connect the CAN bus from the charger to the battery, and the battery will communicate with the charger to charge itself. And here on this page, you see an overview of our batteries. On the left side are the 48 volt batteries. We have a 5, 10, and 15 kilowatt hour battery. And also in 1996 volts, we have 5, 10, and 15 kilowatt battery capacity. Yeah, here are roughly the specs. So the smallest one is 35 kilograms, the middle one is around 60, and the 15 kilowatt hour battery is around 84 kilograms. All of them are NMC cells inside, and yeah, we have then a temperature range from discharge from minus 25 degrees till 60 degrees. Continuous discharge is around 1C, peak around 3C. That's the rough specs of this batteries. And we have a lot of safety features inside the battery. We developed according to automotive standards. That mean that we have some kind of examples. We have an interlock inside that is also monitored. Then we have everything is protected against electrical shock. We have the possibility that we put in an isolation monitoring device that communicates over the CAN bus via the BMS. Then we have the all-pole disconnection, so we have plus and minus a relay. Then we have a BMS that is ready for CO2 by the ISO 26262. And the normal things, the redundant overcurrent monitoring, that we can measure the current via a LEM sensor and also a shunt sensor. Then over/under temperature control, and like Patrick said, the fusible kilowin protection. Then some references that are equipped with our evoTractionBattery. For that, we have a short video that you can see our references in a movie. Here we see a vehicle from the Abby Schmidt group. Then this is a mobile robot with our 5 kilowatt-hour battery. Then here we have a 60 kilowatt-hour battery inside this beautiful wooden boat. Here we have a special vehicle. It's a rope transportation carrier with our 10 kilowatt-hour battery inside. And then here by the group of Miley, by the multi-purpose carriers, we have also the battery for around 60 kilowatt-hour inside. And this is a cleaning machine, a sweeper, with our 10 kilowatt-hour battery. Good. In addition to this video, we have a short summary of these vehicles. Here, first one is the world record vehicle from the guys from Peak Evolution. We have inside 90 kilowatt hours. There are 9 10 kilowatt hour battery inside, and we have a rough nominal voltage of around 300 volts. Then at the bottom, the second vehicle is this mobile robot that you have seen in the video with our 5 kilowatt hour battery. Here at the top, by Green Machine, it's also an electrical sweeper. In the video was the smallest vehicle from there, the 400 ZT. Here we have a new vehicle, 2 cubic sweeper with 60 kilowatt hour battery. Then at the bottom, we have from Orsmeder a salad planter machine, also with our 5 kilowatt hour 48 volt battery. Also by this vehicle, we have built up the whole electrified kit. Here at the top, an Italian brand, a small car with the possibility to put in the 5 or the 10 kilowatt hour battery. And at the bottom, some snowmobiles. Good. This was a short overview over the standard evoTractionBattery. Then I will give back the word to Patrick for the ecoPowerTrolley.
Thank you, Luca. I hope you can see my screen now again.
Yes.
Perfect. So As I said in the introduction, the ecoPowerTrolley is, if you will, so our only end product, final product, which we sell to end customer, is a powerful three-phase power supply for construction site events and professional applications. As all the other products, of course, it's built on our battery packs inside, but in addition, quite a neat power electronics and all the housing, inputs, outputs, and overall control of the system. The main use cases are three-phase current for remote or powerless locations, for construction containers, for instance, where they also could recharge the battery or the battery supply with PV kits like this balcony small power microinverters. And of course, with our power supply, you're not limited to the 600 watt. You are, if you will, pull them or push them into the household plugs. It's also meant to be used on construction sites itself, mainly for high power equipment, which is not possible to be used with like their own small exchangeable batteries, like electric welder, circular saws, or especially diamond core saws or drills. In addition, it's used for road assistance. Instead of towing the electric vehicle, you're able to charge an electric car within like quarter of an hour to go for an additional 20 kilometers to first of all get out of the way, and second of all drive to the next charging station. Furthermore, it's also used for firefighters and police stations. And last but not least, as the ecoPowerTrolley has no noise at all, it's a good power supply for live events, music events, but also food trucks, for instance. Rough overview about the technical data. It has a total capacity of 8.9 kilowatt hours, where 8 kilowatt hours are usable. We have loading methods with 230 or 400 volt, or also with a PV kit like these balcony microinverters. Max charging power is 5 kilowatt. If you charge with 400 volt, the charging time goes down from 5 to 2 hours. The max discharge power is 13 kilowatt, or even a little bit more depending on the SOC, which allows not only equipment, but for firefighters, for instance, like sirens or pumps or a cutter, or with a very high inrush current to be powered with this device. The continuous output power is 11 kilowatt. And if you compare the power, the inrush current with alternative diesel combustion power supplies, you almost need like 15 to 20 kilowatt amps power supply, which then is rather on a trailer. The output plugs are 3 times 230 volt, or one plug with 400 volt three phase. Total weight is 80 kilos, still really handleable and mobile, really mobile. And the dimension with 700 to 350 to 500 is very small power supply compared to combustion ones with the same power output. A big USP is the dust and water jet protection, IP65. For instance, for diamond saws, which are cooled with water and generate a lot of dust, this is almost mandatory. One use case, as introduced at the beginning, is not only that it doesn't make any noise and no pollution at all, but the high ability of giving out this inrush current. And for instance, here in this case, you see a welding machine. If you look in detail, it actually has a 32 amp connector, allowed or not, connected to a 60 amp output of our machine, but it should show that we're able not only for a couple of seconds to allow inrush current of higher than the standard output of 11 kilowatt, but also for almost half a minute. And I'll show you the video, hope it runs. On the back, you see a welder welding a 10 millimeter iron until it's welded through the plate. If I'm able to manage. It's one possible use case, and the other one which then really offers all the valuable points of the power supply is this diamond saws, where different service companies only go on site with the diamond saws. They cut the wall and go to the next and have no time to search or organize a three-phase output for like small houses like this. For instance, they only have two phases. And with our PowerTrolley, he can transport it. You can see it here inside his van, and doesn't need to pull a whole trailer for a diesel generator. I'll also show you these videos, of course. That's the saw running, water cooled. You see the water running here and all the dust. And once the job is finished, there was this part of concrete which you cut through. You see the blade, size of the blade. So the real use case, besides, let's say, that the green points of no noise and no pollution, which are very good arguments to go into tunnels, for instance, is the high output power on the small size. And let's see if we have time. I think we do, right? Luca, will you take over again to talk about our services of vehicle retrofit and electrification? As I said at the beginning, it's not our core business, but we offer the services on one hand to start first prototypes with our customers, and on the other hand also to be always up to date, let's say, with the services or the products we mainly produce and offer the best value in terms of what function the battery has inside. Luca.
Yes, exactly. We offer the service from conceptual design to certification of the series vehicle. That contains a lot of points. At the beginning of design of the drive solution with the motor, inverter, the battery, the control unit. We also offer an optimization of the interaction between battery, inverter, and motors, that they communicate under each other. Then the installation and programming of the vehicle control unit. Of course, the prototype construction itself for the vehicle. And then we give the prototype back to the customers for testing, for make some tests. And after all, we go further for the certifications and production of a series vehicle. Then here, too far. Here you see one example of it. We have here in Bobcat S70 with our drivetrain with 100 volts. Then we have the possibility to put in 20 until 30 kilowatt hours of capacity. So the operating time is depending on the workload is bigger than 3 hours. Vehicle, it's all-wheel drive. 6 people are allowed to drive with them, also with equipment. The max speed is around 60 kilometers per hour, and we have a battery inside from 30 kilowatt hour, and also with 100 volts, roughly nominal voltage. The peak power is 38 kilowatts, so we have no problem also with this big payload and with the vehicle to drive with them in ski resorts, in the mountains, something like that. And here a bigger machine you see in the winter service in our ski resort in Stoß with the caterpillars. It's a really heavy workload for the battery and also for the drivetrain, because when you drive down with this vehicle, it's not possible to recuperate. Instead, you have to push in more energy to come down with this caterpillar. Good. Yeah, then I can give the word back to Patrick or to all of you. Then we are at the end of the presentation, and we are here for questions from you.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, Patrick.
Yes, I hope you could give you a rough overview of what we're doing here at ecovolta in Brunnen. Mainly the battery production, and out of the battery packs then creating different products.
Yeah, very good. I think we still have time for a Q&A session. Please raise the hands that I can give you access to the microphone if you have questions. Oh, that was a very fast one. I think that's that Daniel Chartuni. Is it? Let's start with him. Now you can talk. Yes, should work, but you're still muted.
Hello, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Daniel Rosenfeld from Melexis. So thank you very much for this introduction on the company. I didn't know what you were doing. Just a kind of question. How many people are working in your company?
In the company for ecovolta itself, we are 13 people, but we gain a lot of shared services from the group, like marketing, finance, what else? Yeah, mainly production development is fully employed at ecovolta, and the rest is shared services from the group.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Good, and then we have a second question from Marcel Held. Marcel, the mic is yours. We don't hear you yet. That you're still muted. I think I can't unmute you from here. Well, let's give Marcel a try. Maybe in a short time to figure out how to, or otherwise send the question in the chat. So meanwhile, we have, I think, please raise your hands. There was a question from Andreas Fuchs. If I know that you have a question, because otherwise I don't find you in the audition. I try to hear. Andreas Fuchs, you can ask the question. Yes, Andreas, I allow you to use the microphone now. Aha, okay, it was not okay. It was not a question by itself. Okay, I asked. There was another question now from Marcel Held, and he asked where you did the ECE R100 certification.
The ECE 100 was done by TÜV Süd, Germany.
Okay. Yeah, maybe that's I can ask a follow-up question here, because we had a few times, I think, this discussion whether it would be beneficial to Swiss battery manufacturers to do the whole ECE R100 in Switzerland. Maybe you can say something to that. We know that we have different partners working in that field in Switzerland, but I think nobody have the full program in Switzerland. Would that be beneficial for you to have a partner in Switzerland that can do the certification or the accreditation of ECE 100?
Yeah, of course. It would be beneficial for us because TÜV Süd is good for making certification, but it's always not a big thing, but you have to bring the batteries from Switzerland to Germany for the certification. That's a part that you can solve when you are here in Switzerland and have a certification partner here in Switzerland. And also, I think for Switzerland, it would be a strong point when we have some companies in Switzerland, they produce the batteries, and also we have here inside this country the certification partners that we have all in all here.
Yes, so also from my side, from my view, if it's a full certification, it is anyway a big thing. So it's like the hurdle is not so high to go to southern Germany or be it in Switzerland. But if we have smaller changes where we just need to do one test again, if the battery has been placed differently and we need to repeat one test, it would be beneficial to have a closer lab and not going across the border. I mean, we also always have to do all the import-export stuff as well.
I mean, our iBAT member, the Dynamic Test Center, they are accredited for certain tests. I think mostly the mechanical ones, but I think what we're still missing is mostly the electrical part in Switzerland. Good. I don't know. We have still time for one or two questions, I would say. For the moment, I don't see any other raising hands, so please ask a question or write into the chat. maybe a question from my side. You say you have no active cooling. I think this is maybe also for the members here in the chat. This could be quite interesting to find out a bit more. Do you use special materials such as phase change materials, or can you deploy a little bit how you solve the challenge of the of having no active cooling in your batteries?
We don't have, I don't know, maybe start the other way around. We also have projects with active cooling, but the main focus is, or with the way we are welding our battery cells and with the rather large amount of copper we use, we say that with the homogeneous distribution, we can longer act with a passive cooled battery. And the longer we can use a passive cooled battery saves also money for our customers, because they don't have to add all the liquid cooling stuff inside the vehicle. So that's the main point I wanted to transport. But how we are able to have a longer passive cooled batteries, really the homogeneous distribution inside the battery between the cells. I mean, even if it's homogeneous, at one point, if you discharge on a high rate and then charge on a very high rate, you certainly have the temperature inside the battery, then it's too much. But what we see, the clients we have with the vehicles, rather smaller vehicles, an Abbey, for instance, is really the big one, the top one we supplied. Discharging is never a problem, but we always come across temperature issues during charging, and charging always needs to be as fast as possible. So that's the main showstopper if you also for the passive cooled battery.
Okay. Well, I think if there is no other questions, I think I would stop the webinar for now, and you have the direct contacts to ecovolta, and I would like to say thank you very much for joining today, and I hope to see you next time, either at the workshop here in Biel, or also for the next webinar, I think is then from computer control. So thank you very much, and see you then.
Thank you too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you there. Bye.